So basically, I just bought a little show and tell item there today that we'll spin around and have a look at shortly. Well, it's actually down here, but basically, I'm going to start changing over to. I do a couple of displays a year. I do Halloween at a friend's house. They've got a much better setup for sort of Halloween than what I do for Christmas, and we have a lot of. We just have it like a light show, similar to Singing Faces with dancing skeletons and things like that, just RGB strip and a couple of RGB floods and things like that. Big operation to set up. Halloween in Australia, you get 1 or 2 nights out of it. If you get a crowd, you'll put it to 3 nights. We do about 3 nights for it. But basically, yeah, a lot of work for just an overnight show in Australia. It's different than in the States, obviously. They'll do it the whole month of October. But Halloween, I did a Halloween show before I did Christmas with the Lightorama stuff, and that was basically a test for me because I didn't know anyone in the area that had animated lighting. So it was a case of we'll get something set up in October, run it, and then I can sort of go into Christmas with a bit of confidence. So that's the way we did it. Obviously, most of the software that you're all familiar with requires some sort of computer to run it. A lot of people have show computers, and some people have show computers and sequencing computers. Light Show Pro, yep, we've all got 2 computers because we need big processing. So yeah, I've got an i7 at home that's loaded up with RAM and all the rest of it to get it going, and then the laptop's i7 as well. But that's right, and we don't have too much problems running it. But however, this is a new thing that it's come out probably a year or year and a half ago, I guess. Dave Pitts over in the States grabbed one of these little, it's called a Raspberry Pi. Grabbed one of these and wrote his own little interface for it, and effectively made a $35 show computer. So this little thing here, it's capable of outputting E131 data, so that's the sort of data that will go into with a lot of the Pixel shows and the Pixel controllers. Most of these Pixel controllers are all E131, and it also has a couple of USB ports on it, so you can run like a Lightorama dongle as well. I've tested on both, and they work on both. Obviously, if you're running a Lightorama dongle and you're running Lightorama hardware, you have to use your hardware in DMX mode. Yeah, but basically it's, we'll pass it around in a sec, but basically it's got a couple of USBs, RJ45 plug on it for plugging into your computer network. On the side there, headphone jack, composite TV connection, so that's your yellow plug on the back of your TVs. HDMI connection, projector, plasma TV, whatever you want. And yeah, we've been SD card up the other end. So basically what happens with these is that's the sort of processing part of it. It's like a mini computer effectively. SD card goes in the end, that's got the software on it that runs it. In our case, it'll be Falcon Christmas software, which is what he's wrote to actually put sequences on and run it as a scheduler. USB stick at the other end. USB stick's going to hold our actual sequence. In my case, it's a Light Show Pro sequence that I've built, and I've converted it over to FPP, Falcon Player. And what else have we got on it? Yeah, headphone and HDMI. So effectively, this little box here, you can load up. They've tested it with 64 universes. So that's a whopping big show. Out of Melbourne, they actually upgraded that to what? So doubled it. So 124 universes times 512. You work out the channels. I can't count that high. But massive amounts of shows. There's not much you can run. You can't run off of it.
You probably run out of electricity at your home supply before you run that.
Before you run that, yeah, that'd be right. Yeah. So a lot of potential out of it. Like I said, all up, if you wanted to sort of use one of these as a show computer, you got your Pi, which is about $35. Case for mine, I got it for $9. SD card, got it lying around. USB stick, got that lying around. I've actually got the wireless adapter for this as well, so I don't have to plug it into the RJ45. I can actually, it'll talk straight to my wireless router if I want to, so that's handy for testing. But it will just throw that around. You can have a look at it. So so basically with the Falcon player, that's the website up there, and down the bottom there we've got the links that you can actually go in and have a look at the download the software and things like that. Not much use without the Pi player, but basically that's the site for it. So what it does is Lightorama, Light Show Pro and Vixen, they all have scheduling software for them. Some's built in, some's separate. Basically, you can use the FPP player with the Falcon PI and set it up as a scheduler. IP-based interface. So once we get it cracking, I've got Matt's laptop just hooked up to my little wireless router up the back there, which is just separate from the network here, and same as what you type an IP address in to access your hardware controllers. You just type the access IP address into the laptop, iPad, iPhone, whatever you want, and you'll get the main interface for the actual Pi player. From there you can just set up your schedules or just play a show on demand. So it's basically you just got all your shows there. You can just play them as you go. Very might be over a lot of people's heads, but tomorrow what we'll do is we'll actually go through the process of putting a sequence onto a Pi player and playing it. I'll actually plug it in up the top there, and you can see it going. I've just bought just a 5 metre strip of 2811 12 volt, so that's the pixel strip, 3 pixels per section. Three LEDs per pixel. Yep, and what have we got? 50 pixels. Yep.
This one looks like you can put in.
Yeah, you can put boards on the top of these. We've got one up there. One thing with this that I haven't got for it yet, but little tiny piece of electronics, very cheap, so very slim in designs and things like that. But plug-on boards are available for it. We've got up the back there an actual screen that you can just pop onto the jumpers, and you'll be able to see the interface for the board. One thing that I'll be getting for this one, I think I looked them up the other week, they were about $15, is an actual onboard clock. These don't have any sort of battery backup on it, therefore no onboard clock. It will access clock through the internet. This won't be plugged into a network that's got internet. It'll be plugged straight into a router, straight out to controllers, so therefore no clock. $15 board, pop it on the top, button battery, change a few things in the software, onboard clock. So then I can use the schedule and never lose its time. Unplug the power, it'll still know what time it is next time I turn it on. The way basically I've ran this in the past is just show on demand, just doing testing and things like that. So I've never needed a clock. Or if you set the clock manually for the first time, don't turn the power off, you're good to go. So if it's just going to sit in the garage plugged in, you don't need the onboard clock. As soon as you lose power for it, you're going to have to go in and set the clock on it. Okay. Yeah, this isn't mine, this little screen, but yeah, basically as a plug-in, just goes onto the jumper pins up the top, and there's your interface screen. No real soldering or anything to do on the boards. They're as they come out of the box. There's probably a couple of links on ACL where to buy them in Australia. Probably one of the best places to buy them would be Element 14, or what's the other one? So as far as this goes, I'm just going to pop my USB stick in it. All the USB stick has on it is my audio file for that little show up there. It's called a conductor sequence, which is what the Light Show Pro sequence was. Light Show Pro was a Light Show Pro sequence before. It's been converted to what's called a conductor sequence, and that gets loaded on the USB stick. I haven't played with the video output on these yet, but it's MP4 for the video, and you just whack all those on the USB stick. Yep. I've played with it a couple of times, and it's seamless. It's pretty seamless. Yeah, I haven't, and I played a lot with over the previous years. I played a lot with Light Show Pro and Nutcracker, because I've got big 3D tree out the front, the mega tree. It's all individual pixel, and to get a lot out of those mega trees, obviously you need to either be painstakingly putting in every on and off light bulb, or use something like Nutcracker or the macros that are coming out with LSP. HLS and Vixen have similar processes that they use. Yeah, I did a lot of work trying to get Nutcracker to work with Light Show Pro, but with Sean and Dave sort of getting together with the Falcon player, X-Lights and Nutcracker all in the one software package, it's pretty much go find the file that you want to convert, spit it out as a conductor and load it on. Very simple. Yeah, so basically to get this to work, I've used Light Show Pro to do the sequence. That's just because that's the software I use. Lightorama's working with it fine. Vixen doesn't. I don't. Does Vixen? Vixen's not a conductor, is it? No.
No, it's Vixen 3 export is on the card.
Yep. Yeah.
Don't hold you back.
Yeah, Vixen's doing big things at the moment by the sounds of it. It sounds like they're really getting into it now. Like I said, I've downloaded Vixen 3 times over the years, and it's like HLS for me as well. And it's like Lightorama or going to LSP. You get so used to one piece of software, you open up a new piece and you spend 45 minutes staring at a screen going, where do I start? That's me for Vixen and HLS. I'm looking forward to Vixen. This will be the first time in 4 years someone's actually showed me how to turn it on. So I'm really looking forward to it, because I know a lot of people do use it, and I'm not attached to any one piece of software. I like to use whatever I think can be used to get the show that I want. I don't want a whole show that's full of macros. I want to be able to get the tree to do what I want it to do. But for me, the macros in Light Show Pro and just the basic on and off and the ramping, like we're all familiar to, works with Nutcracker as well. So I use Light Show Pro and Nutcracker, but mainly just Nutcracker just for my mega tree. So basically the parts where I'm not using Nutcracker sequences for 10 seconds or whatever, doing a spiral around the tree, Light Show Pro will have written the sequence, whether it be a fade across the house or whatever. So back to this little boy. So we've got our got our USB stick in the end with all our files. SD card in that end. That's basically got the software on it. And that's just the little wireless dongle that we won't be using today, but that can go in there. So basically up the top there, if you're not using E131, you can plug in the USB dongle, whether it be a Lightorama one or one of Dave's or one of Alan's, and away you go. So we might just spin around and we'll I'll just show you a quick demo on this one. Alrighty, so we'll go a lot into this tomorrow, but basically what you do when you first power these up is well, I've preset a static IP into it, so I already know what the IP is. But basically, when you use these, always have a speaker plugged into it. Now, I'll just basically go through the setup over here. So basically, what I have here is a home network, so a router at home. My show is all E131. A J1 P2, which outputs two outputs on the front, output 1 and 2, they output 4 universes each. One universe being 512 channels, so 2048 channels per side. So that does quite a bit of that strip. That piece of strip is 5 metres long. As I said, that's not individual pixels, there's three LEDs to 1 pixel, so therefore 50 pixels, 150 channels in that 5 metre strip. Okay, so basically everything goes back to the router. The P2 goes back to the router. The Pi goes back to the router, and then I interface it. This is a wireless router, so I can interface it either from the computer or just an iPad. We'll interface it from the computer today so that we can all see it. Plug the Pi in. I've got it all hooked up, ready to go. There's a little USB power supply at the back here. We'll plug that in. That'll take probably 20 seconds to start up. And the first thing you'll hear on it when it's ready to go is it'll use a bit of a, what did we say it was? Stephen Hawking voice, computer generated voice, and it'll actually tell you what the IP address for that Pi is to access it. This one should actually tell us 2 IP addresses. It'll pick up the ROS that's assigned to it from this one, and it will also pick up the IP address assigned from the wireless one. So that will be 2 ones. So that won't be too long. It'll spit out. Yeah. So basically, this has just got a minute and a half sequence loaded onto it, just for the demonstration for the light. Okay, so that's found our 2 IP addresses. So the 111 is actually the hard wired cable going into the router, and the 0.1.1 is actually the this wireless dongle here connects straight to the router also. So once they're connected, they're right to go. Matt, you can rip that IP address up, and we should be able to see the interface for the Pi on there. Oh, that worked to plan. So basically what Matt's done there is he's typed in that IP address that Mr. Hawkins told us, which is 192.168.1.111 up in the address bar, and that's connected straight into the Raspberry Pi. Do you want to do 192.168.1.203? Okay. This is the other item that's hooked up to this little router. It's the P2. That's the web interface for that we use to actually go in and set up our strings and things like that. So basically, when you're looking at the E131 side, you're looking at everything's got an IP address that you use to access it. So back to 111. Okay. So basically on here, this is just a, this is his main page. You can see the FPP time up there is Tuesday the 20th of May, and that would have been the last time that I actually set the time on this thing. So that's completely wrong. So I can go in there and change it. I won't bother because we're not doing sequencing or anything like that. But yeah, configure set time. So basically, these are all the little sequences that I've wrote over the last couple of months in Lightshow Pro, just testing things out. And this is the one we'll be using today. So just up the top there, content setup. We've got our file manager. This has just got all the conductive files that I've imported into it. There's all the audio. The audio will go. Matt might touch on audio later. Currently, the Falcon PI players only do an OGG audio format instead of MP3. But I think they've got later on in the year they'll actually be doing MP3. So that was the biggest thing. I just ripped it through Audacity and changed it to an OGG. Video files, nothing in there, and not too sure about all the rest of it, the effects and all that. Playlists up the top there. There's no playlist actually loaded into it, so I'll probably struggle to find it. But we'll just go into the fun bit. I'll find the delete button. There, expose. Alrighty. Okay, so basically, just a show on demand type thing. I can just hit the play button, and that'll start to crank up. Audio is a little bit soft at the start. There's just a bit of a drone on it. Alrighty, so that was it. So that probably took me, I don't know, that's just all macros in Lightshow Pro so that probably took me about half an hour to do that, and 5 minutes to put it onto the Raspberry Pi. So obviously up on the screen there you've got a repeat button as well, so if you didn't want to run it as a scheduler, like I do, I just load up a heap of playlists, and that way I can just go into my iPad, and if I want to play a show on demand, I can just play that one straight away. Two other buttons up there when you do press play is Stop Gracefully and Stop Now. Stop Gracefully is something that a lot of Rama people would be used to. It'll play that song in the playlist and stop. And Stop Now is obviously abort mission. We need to stop it. So yeah, and a repeat button up the top there as well, so you can actually just repeating the whole sequences. So that's the Raspberry Pi. Yeah, basically tomorrow, if anyone's interested, we'll go into that one a little bit deeper, just to look at how we get sequences on there. If someone's not going to be here tomorrow and they want to look at it today, that's fine, we can do that later also. A couple of other things that I might do for tomorrow, if we get time, is I'm actually looking at doing some house projection this year. That's my projector up there. I'll actually be using that one. And I'm sort of halfway through, and time sort of got the better of me, but I'm halfway through sort of mapping it out in the software, and I've managed to dig up some stuff that I'll be able to show tomorrow to give people a basic idea of what's involved with house projecting. That being full house projecting, so 2 garages out the front, windows, things like that, so you can put different clips on different parts of the house. You've probably seen them on YouTube's. Yeah, at the moment, my only house projection, and this is probably the first reason why I jumped straight into Lightshow Pro, as opposed to I had Lightorama software. Never got to use the Lightorama software. I used Lightshow Pro in my first year with Lightorama hardware, and that was because it had video output. So I actually had made a screen up over I've got 2 single garages, so one of my garages was a big projector screen. I had a projector in behind it that rear projected onto it, so the projector was inside the house nice and safe. And Lightshow Pro actually output the sequence, the sound, and the video projection all sequenced within Lightshow. So that was the first reason I used Lightshow Pro. Back then, version 1.8, painful as to get that show going, very painful. Today it's a lot better, but yeah, it took a lot to get that going, but I got it going, which was great. Alrighty, yeah, so that's me. So